Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mara stock chart planning update video. So on this video I want to approach things a little differently. I want to focus on what the premium and discounted levels are within the current bullish structure that we're in, which is this right here, and as well what my outlooks are and how I am looking to manage short-term trades, as well as why I believe Mara stock will go up and make new all-time highs within this structure. So not all-time highs ever since the stock was made. I'm talking about all-time highs within this structure right here. So yeah, let's get started. Everything I say in this video is just my own personal opinion. It is a way, this video is just a way for me to document and express my non-professional thoughts on this stock and any assets and tradable assets I cover in this channel. It's all just my own personal opinion. It's just for me to share and document my opinion, right? So it is not financial advice there. Okay, that's out the way. Now I want to jump into so let's do, yeah, we're on 1 day. So ever since late 2022 is where Bitcoin as well, not just Mara, but Bitcoin also completed a bearish structure that it was in. That was the end of the bear cycle. So Mara also lost the majority of its value, just like Bitcoin did. And ever since then, both assets have been started to begin a new bear, or not bear, a new bullish structure, a new bear bull cycle. And of course, we all know that Marathon Digital is just a large player in the Bitcoin space. They are, I believe, the largest Bitcoin mining company in the US and one of the biggest in the world. And they are, they're always making headlines and they're acquiring Bitcoin for their HODL policy. So they like to hold on to Bitcoin. So that's really good. And then one thing I want to just point out early in this video is that, because I'm going to talk about my Bitcoin bull market top estimate, and that is going to also, it's going to show you guys how that. I'm just going to try to correlate those two things together and then show you guys why my current marathon for the Bitcoin cycle top is lower than the previous highs, and I'm explaining that in a moment. So before I actually get into the actual technical analysis, I want to clear things up because there are a lot of people that are very negative towards Mara, and I personally think it's just because a lot of people don't properly understand the stock and how the business functions. So we all know that if you look back, Marathon Digital Holdings was valued much more, at least on its share price. We understand that Marathon Digital Holdings is a young company. It has been around for basically, I believe, 10 years or just over 10 years. So like 11 or 12, but according to this chart. But we understand that they like to dilute their shareholders a lot. And the reason for that is if a company is young, and for a company that has not been around really that long, they need a way to scale. They just like I said, one of my previous videos, Marathon Digital Holdings is not just trying to expand their mining operations in the US, they are also looking to expand mining operations by owning facilities outside the US, gaining share in other mining companies, and also assisting other mining companies on, for example, if you guys can look this up, there's a mining facility in Africa that Marathon Digital Holdings is helping them create a better source of clean energy. And then Mara has some share percentage in a Dubai mining company. Marathon is also building up a facility in South America. You guys can do all this research if you want to dive in more into it. But they are aggressively trying to expand and trying to, current facilities that have been around for a while, they're trying to, expand them even more. So as they dilute their shareholders, the purpose of this is to acquire more Bitcoin to hold, to profit off of, but also they are trying to expand their operations. So that's why you're going to see, even though they are doing better over time, their share price, every time Bitcoin has a bull market cycle, you're going to see the tops. As of right now, until the business matures a lot more, it still has a long way to go. But until then, you're going to see those all-time high cycles being lower and lower um, every 4 years, right? And then, of course, you have for the most part, and then of course, due to the share dilution, that means that they are focused very heavily on the long-term picture. So Mara is not the kind of company that you're going to short-term trade and I don't know, they disappear, they go bankrupt and whatnot. They're handling their finances very well. You guys can do your own research if you really want on how they're managing their debts. You can look at their it's a publicly traded companies. There's a lot of websites like Seeking Alpha, or you can go on their own official site to look at what their balance sheets, their spreadsheets, everything looks like. They're handling debt quite well, and they're creating extra funding through, of course, share dilution, which keeps them from going into more debt, but it also keeps them, for the private placements for these stocks, they're gaining a lot of exposure through whales that prefer to hold onto the stock long term, that aren't shaked out by the smaller picture fluctuations. Now that that's out of the way, let's focus on the current structure that we are looking at. So for one Bitcoin, so I'm gonna show you guys Bitcoin real quick. And for those of you that like MSTR, pretty much MSTR and Bitcoin right now are doing the exact same thing for the most part. So if you are wondering what my takes on MSTR are, you just look at my social medias. I'm always posting on there most days of the week about MSTR, and I'm also posting about it on the free Discord server. There's a link to my website down below, and you guys can join it for free. And no email. I'm not taking any information. You just go in there, and I'm posting most days of the week my thoughts on these charts. But since Bitcoin, my estimated conservative all-time high for this cycle is going to be in this area here. So between 115,000 to 150,000. That's just my conservative estimate. That's where I'm looking to sell out mostly. But when it reaches around this level in here, somewhere in here, I should be pretty much at least 90% of my overall position should be sold for my core position around these levels right here, which I'm keeping track of my core position. If you guys want to look at that, I have a playlist for it. It's called Bitcoin Portfolio Updates. I keep track of my core position there if you guys are interested in checking that out. So yeah, due to that cycle top, this is where I personally believe as of right now, unless something were to change, but I'm very, very confident in Mara looking to top out somewhere at least in the discounted half of this green fib area up here. When it comes to the smaller picture, just like I say in all of my updates for this stock, you know that I like to structure my trades in 5-wave moves up for bullish structures. As of right now, this rectangle is representing the current bullish structure up to the highest price we've seen so far, which is just underneath, just about $34. And then, excuse me, which we're looking at a first, second, third wave. We're still trying to focus on the fourth wave, I'm going to get into in a moment. And the fifth wave should bring us up somewhere in this area. And then the blue is just counting the smaller structure. And then the orange is counting the overall bigger structure. And then closer up, right? So understanding how Mara functions, understanding why they do things that may not make sense, or a lot of people might see it as a negative thing. Yes, short term, but long term, that's when those dividends really start paying on what they're doing. It's an extremely tough, business to be in, especially in the US with electricity prices. But guys, let me jump into the very much smaller picture here before I get deep, start thinking about something else and making this video a lot longer than it should be. So currently we are looking, and I'm going to give you guys a few scenarios. We are looking to complete the fourth wave structure. Now, I always been talking about three confirmation levels, right? And here are my three confirmation levels to consider a bullish reversal that's going to bring us even higher, and what can invalidate it, what can completely cancel out my approach. So the red area is currently my accumulation area. That's what I've been calling it for quite some time now. Within this area, I'm going to be slow. I haven't actually touched this stock in like 2 weeks. I haven't bought anything in 2 weeks because we kind of been, approaching this area. We fell into it. We've kind of been, how do you say, consolidating pretty much, where we broke into it, not too deep, but we kind of reached close to the halfway point, and then we broke up higher, and then we started breaking down below. I'm lightly accumulating because we do not have bullish confirmation, which again, first level is going to be, if we break into this area, we want to see prices reach the 0.5 and consolidate in the discounted half before we start actually seeing further consolidation in the premium half. This shows price strength, and then this shows bull strength for the price to start, getting more hyped up, getting a little bit more FOMO built behind it, and then and by the time this happens, we should be approaching the first rate cut coming up soon. So we will most likely see some consolidation. I'm not expecting prices to go above the 0.618 before we actually start cutting rates. And even when we start cutting rates, it's not going to be good right away. Sometimes it just takes a moment for all that to really kick in. So don't expect all right, we got for example, 1.25 interest rate cut just after mid-September, and then everything starts shooting up. No, we might see some anticipation towards then, or we might see continued consolidation underneath the green, but we're not going to see too much bullishness for the stock right away, right? So slowly accumulating, the further it reaches into this red area, if it were to do so, the more I will slowly add to the short-term accumulation position, right? And once we reach into this green area, that's where I'm looking to sell a portion of the accumulation, because this can easily act as a resistance and it could push us down to retest the red. So my approach is slowly accumulate, slowly shave off in case it does act as a resistance. But second level would be, so we have first level, which is discounted consolidation, and then premium consolidation, where we don't want to see quick price actions. We don't want to see this price break up too much or come into this area and break down below too quickly. That's too unstable. We want to see stable prices in the green right here, and then from there we can start focusing on the second level confirmation, which is a sustained a sustained price strength above the green. So it can look something like where we break up higher, we can come down, retest the 0.618. We can even break below it just briefly, but I want to see price strength. I want to see this act as a support and start moving up higher. So once we break above it and we show stable or strength, so we want to see sustained strength above the green, that's where I'm going to start looking to slowly add once more again to my position, right? But not too much, because we got to fill in the gap and reach this next resistance level, which is the previous swing high right here, the major swing high where this one is, which then once we do reach this area and we do break above it, we're starting to look at the third level confirmation, which means third level confirmation is just like the second one, where we want to see prices break above this resistance, use it as support, but we want to see like sustained price action. So we want to see it go above. We want to see prices show strength by either consolidating or not breaking below, using this as support, and finally start breaking up into this area. So we want to see eventually that gap being filled, and then this is where we can start looking to sell out of our position, shave it off more aggressively, close everything out, and then start looking for price weakness. So then we can start moving down into um, the next wave count, which is once we finally have a third wave, I'll be able to give you guys a more confident fourth wave. This is just an estimate at the moment. So then we want to see, and this is probably going to last a while because fourth wave corrections usually last a while, but there's still an overall three wave moves down. So we want to see prices eventually come down into this area. That's where we're looking for shorts. When we see weakness, start trying to position ourselves short term for this correction, and then from there we want to start seeing price strength once again for us to move even higher. By the way, these spots where it's at, it does not mean it's going to hit these levels within this time frame. This is just for visual representation. And what this looks like on Bitcoin is basically once Mara goes up, what I believe will happen, and of course I will be proven right or wrong eventually. It's just what I currently believe. It's just a little bit of a little bit of my own opinion. But basically, if I'm correct, there are a lot of limit sell orders. You guys can look this up. A few YouTubers talk about it. I believe Cryptos R Us talked about it a few times, and but it's researchable, right? So you guys can look this up where we want to see some resistance somewhere between 85,000 and 95,000. So somewhere in this area, there is potentially going to be quite a bit of selling going on, and that's going to kind of show us a little bit of a weakness. We could potentially even see the price retest the current all-time high. Probably not. I believe this is going to be this gap from all-time highs to the green fib is going to be aggressive. I feel like it's going to fill very aggressively, but we're mostly going to see a little bit of fear, a little bit of shakiness, resistance between 85 and 95,000, which is we'll see if it happens, but we'll see if it happens, and then we'll see if that is where Mara is going to be looking to retrace down and complete the fourth wave during that shakiness, a little bit of that resistance. So this area, as of right now, if Bitcoin, it could potentially be even higher because as interest rates go down, we can potentially see a lot of like money flowing into these growth stocks. But we'll see what happens. But potentially, at a minimum, when Bitcoin is between 85 and 95, we should see this at least in this area right here. And then once Bitcoin begins to move higher and goes into our conservative bull market top into this area, that's where I would like to see Mara trading in this area up here, which will be pushing this rectangle upward. So once Bitcoin reaches BTC, that bull market top estimate, we should see Mara in that area as well, which the purpose of this rectangle as well is just to give you guys a little bit of visual representation. There's another tool in TradingView that you can use to like create a line, but basically, let me see if I can draw it out. This should work just fine. So we have 0.5 there. So we have. I'll leave this on there. I'll leave this on there, but let's do that. Let's do color. Let's do like this. No, let's do. Just want to make it look cool, right? I want to make it look cool. I want to make it look cool. Let's just do this like purplish purple-ish color. I think that looks kind of cool. So this represents half of the triangle. So everything below this, because this is the current range that we're in, that's been proven. This is acting as discounted on the overall trend that we have so far, and then this is counted as premium. And prices from the beginning of the structure to so far what we have as the top of the structure, we are trading in discounted levels as well. It's a little bit of fun, and you guys can do the same thing if you look at these levels and you kind of want to do, like, for example, this 65. I think that might be a little too high, but I think it's good. You guys can do the same thing, which will probably be like right here around 34, and then, you know, so it's a little bit of fun looking at it that way. So I'm gonna leave that purple line there. And then one more thing, just for visual representations. I hope you guys enjoyed the video so far. I hope you understand my approach and my understanding of the stock. If you kind of do like a little bit of a, that's a little too aggressive there, but if you do a little bit of a, somewhat of a resistance, kind of like that, you know, that's fine. We can even make it look lower. I'm in no reasons actually going off of this. I just wanted to show you guys because I think it's cool. It also, so it also shows that potentially, and I'm not saying we're going to be in this area by the time you see down there, the months. I'm not saying that. It's probably going to be like more out here, but oh wait, no, that's way too far. Okay, yeah, maybe like towards sometime around third quarter of next year, towards late third quarter next year, we can potentially see the price up there. So this can last a very long time because, again, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to reach its cycle top until like later in the second half of 2025. So we have a lot of, you know, a lot of time to look at. We have a lot of how do you say a lot of patience, right? We gotta have a lot of patience. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys are staying cautious when you're approaching such a volatile stock. Even though it's looking very, very good right now, it's looking very discounted. Just understand that we can still easily see lower prices. Bitcoin has not yet, even though it's showing strength, it is not really, you know, having any break of structure just yet in the short term to reach a new all-time high yet. So it's just very important to be cautious, very important to be patient traders, and understand that take a step back, look at the charts. You do not have to trade every day, right? Step back, look at the charts, and analyze your risk tolerance. And if the stock right now just doesn't fit your criteria, your risk tolerance is safely enough, you can always look at some other assets. So you guys can do this on TradingView. You can set an alert. See, you can set it on whatever trading platform you use. Most of them offer this. Just set an alert. Or if you keep track of your stock watch list on like an app like Yahoo Finance or CNBC, or I think Wall Street Journal does it too. Market Watch. There's a few. There's a lot. There's even some like smaller name third-party apps that do this. Just set your price alerts. Come back to it later. There's no rush. You know, for me, it's in my accumulation area. I have no reason to go aggressive into this stock because we you know, prices can easily fall lower, right? And I don't have bullish confirmation just yet, so I'm not going to go aggressively into this because we haven't even reached the first level of my bullish confirmation just yet. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and take care.